All right, happy Friday night, everybody. Welcome on into the Hat Creek Interiors studio. We're glad you're with us here on the daily broadcast. We got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. Texas Tech, Kansas score predictions. Who will be Tech's MVP tomorrow night? Which player will stand out the most? Who will have the biggest impact on the game? You tell us tonight. Also, it's Cody Campbell, Texas Tech Board of Regent Chairman, versus everybody. Power Four commissioners, Greg Sankey, Brett Yormark, you name it. The Great Disruptor is at work, and he's being told that he doesn't have a what did he say? That they're saying he has a fundamental misunderstanding of college athletics. Do you really think he does? You tell us tonight. All that most Texan thing you've done this week, brought to you by Hat Creek Interiors. If you're looking to live like you own a ranch, but maybe you don't own a ranch just yet, they've got the Western furniture for you. If you just love Western furniture, you don't care about the ranch, they've got it. Go to their showroom, 10101 Slide Road, or go to hatcreek.us. They ship anywhere. All right, so we want to hear from a lot of you guys tonight. A lot of different things to sound off on. Ton of Texas Tech football. If you're in town this weekend for Texas Tech football, if you're coming in for homecoming weekend, hey, get a great brunch Saturday or Sunday. Doesn't matter. They're at the Reserve Culinary Tavern, 103rd on Quaker. Don't sleep on the onion rings, but the menu is fantastic. The atmosphere is great. It's very relaxing. It's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend this weekend that if you're going to try to go to brunch, get a reservation. All right, go to their website there for the Reserve Culinary Tavern in Lubbock. Also brought to you by South Plains College, because a lot of great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. They have over 100 degree plans at South Plains College. One of them might be right for you, your kids, continuing education. They've got it all at South Plains College. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. So hit them up over there. And of course, everybody gets in tonight on the United Supermarkets chat line. There's that supermarket that takes care of all your tailgating needs, and everything's good. And you can hit them in the morning or in the afternoon on the way to the game, and you forgot to get whatever it was you forgot to get. Or you're just laying in, provisions for the week. Market Street, United Supermarkets, they put their stuff on Texas Tech. There's another store in town that takes your money, gladly takes your money, and sends it down south and puts their name on stuff in Austin. Let's do the show in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Every day you start your day there on the website. Great Raiderland hot links, the freshest, hottest links from around Raiderland and beyond. Brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. World famous jerky. Your tailgate needs it. They ship anywhere. Go to their website. They can handle all your meat processing. And unless you just want to mess with T-bone steaks and ribeyes, and you get the idea. Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post. They're as good as it gets. Look at their website. Like I said, they ship anywhere. Jackson Brothers. Now, I want your predictions tonight. Texas Tech and Kansas. 14-point spread right now. Totals at 59. I'll tell you right now, I think this is going to go slightly over the total on total number of points scored. And I want you to give us your score predictions tonight. What do you like? I'll tell you, I do like Texas Tech covering. I'll give you my score here in just a little bit, but I want you guys to get in on the United Supermarkets chat line. Give me your predictions. And then also a little game script. How do you see this game playing out? Who do you think will be the Texas Tech MVP? And we will get to Cody Campbell versus everybody in a battle royale now, where Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner, is alleging that Cody Campbell, he just has a fundamental misunderstanding of college athletics. Even Brett Yormark, Commissioner Big 12, talking about how he never said pooling assets would be good. All of this goes back to the SAFE Act, rewriting some federal legislation and the impact that it would have on college sports. Know this, Cody Campbell is a disruptor. And disruptors face challenges from people who like the status quo. And what you are seeing is that Greg Sankey and even Brett Yormark, your Big 12 commissioner, and the Big Ten and the A, that they kind of like the status quo. That all of a sudden they don't like this Cody Campbell guy. That he is seen as dangerous. I'll give you some quotes from a Sports Business Journal story today, here in a few minutes. And I think it will illuminate how scared they are of Cody Campbell. Greg Sankey. He has a fundamental misunderstanding of college athletics. Really? Do you really think Cody Campbell doesn't understand college athletics? Played in it. Chairman, Board of Regents, Texas Tech. Pretty smart guy. And not just because he has a bajillion dollars, he's a pretty smart guy. But that he just can't grasp the subtleties all of a sudden of college athletics. Fascinating. Any of y'all worried that there will be recriminations against Texas Tech because of Cody Campbell? That the powers that be decide, all right, we can't get him, we can't hurt his money. What if we hurt his school? When do we get to that point? And if that's what they try to do, I say, hang in, I don't care. You want to go after us, you go after all of us. I don't have money, but you want to hurt Texas, go after it. We'll fight it. Because that tells me Cody Campbell's probably right, and what he's doing is probably right for Texas Tech, short-term, long-term, and otherwise. Jeff says it's Texas Tech 45, Kansas 17. The MVP is Morton, Baron Morton, that man right there, throwing the football downfield, hopefully more than one time for over 15 yards, because Houston played a really soft two-deep zone, mostly zone. They didn't attack downfield. The fish are farther out. What's your score prediction? You tell us. Who's going to be the MVP? Where do we want to start on this one on the breakdown? Let's start on the defensive front offensive line for Kansas. Kansas has a good offensive line, not a great offensive line. They don't have two NFL players on their offensive line like Utah did. And Utah probably has a third. Texas Tech dominated that Utah offensive line. They're going to dominate this Kansas offensive line. Now, what will that turn into? That becomes critical. But what I think that turns into on my game script is that Texas Tech defense wins first down, second down, and you put them in third and long. You put them behind the chains, as we like to say. Well, what happens when Kansas, with Jalen Daniels, the great Jalen Daniels, very talented quarterback, who can sling it around really good, their third down conversion percentage is 31.3%. They're not good on third down. Now, one could argue that maybe they got it done on first or second. Don't really care, because now they're going to have to get it done, I believe, on third down. That's 125th nationally, 14th in the Big 12. I think that's a big number to pay attention to, and that's Captain Obvious talking about, hey, third down is going to matter. No, third down, Texas Tech, defense really good. First down, second down, really good third down. If you put them 3rd and 5 or longer, and you're turning loose Bailey and Romello Height, Lee Hunter up the middle, you're letting linebackers roam free, I think that's a pretty good recipe, don't you think? We're getting your score predictions tonight. We're giving you a little bit of what we think the game script is going to be. We want to know who your MVP will be tomorrow night for Texas Tech. When it's all said and done, who will have the biggest impact on the game? What will they do and why? Glenn says Tech 31-14. That's cover. 14.5 points. Basically, I think that's where this thing's going to go off tomorrow night, depending on some sort of wild change. And by that, I mean maybe a half-point tick to the up, a half-point tick to the down. So I think 14. So 31-14. It's pretty low scoring. That's under the total, 59 total. So Glenn is saying a low-scoring homecoming game for Texas Tech. You give us your predictions, your thoughts, anything and everything on your mind. We'll get to the Cody Campbell stuff as we go through tonight. It's a beautiful West Texas Friday night. If you're enjoying West Texas high school football tonight, you've got a good one. It's warm, it's nice, the wind, negligible, beautiful evening. All you got to do now is jump in on the United Supermarkets chat line. All right, so what about Texas Tech offensively against Kansas? Morton, I think, will have his chances. They play more man than Houston did, So I think you'll have more opportunities on some deep shots than you did last week. And again, I'm going to say one more time, that was a product of Texas Tech 100% taken in the passing game, what Houston was more than willing to concede. And if they converted even just 2 more times in the red zone, nobody would be talking about it. How about this? How about the Tech run game tomorrow night? Because Kansas rush defense, not very good. They're giving up over 4.5 yards per snap on the rush game. That's 98th in the country right now. That's not very good. That you could very well just line up, shove it down their throat on first, second down, have third and short, and have options, or second and short, even better. Let's say you get that average. Let's say it's 2nd and 5. You're in 2nd and 5 most of the night. You can do all sorts of stuff. Win first down offensively in a big way. Texas Tech needs to average, I think, about 5.5 to 6 yards per first down snap. I think they can do it against this defense. That frees up second down as almost a free bingo space. It allows you to attack down, allows you to attack with play action. And one of the best strengths of this team is play action. I don't know where to get the stat. Somebody's got it. Maybe if I asked nicely, Texas Tech would tell me what Texas Tech's average is on play action passing downs. 98th in the country, giving up over 4.5 yards per carry. Run game, going to be big. Makes passing game even bigger. Get your score predictions. Who will be the Texas Tech MVP as we go through tonight? United Supermarkets chat line. Chris says 35-10 defense holds. 35. If Tech only scores 35 points, I would consider that a gross disappointment. I really would. Maybe not a gross disappointment, a disappointment. Little Stevie Woodward says Tech 45-14. Now be sure and give me your MVPs on this one. 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, it's a cloud of that turf particulate, the ground rubber tires that come up. That can't be healthy, right? That's got to be dangerous. JC's on our YouTube channel. By the way, YouTube, everybody on YouTube, hit thumbs up, like, share, invite people in. We want 1,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of the Raiderland Rewind tomorrow night, brought to you by Live Life Well Clinic in Lubbock. Dr. John Skelton, great people. We want 1,000 subscribers on that. So YouTube people, you can make that happen. Facebook people, invite your friends in, share it right now. Same thing on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. JC, 52-15, Morton, fast start. Dominant D. Pick your spots downfield. Daniels gets at least 1 TD. Yeah. I mean, no, Daniels is going to, he's going to get his, whatever that is, tomorrow night. He'll make some plays. He'll have some throws. You're not going to keep him out of the end zone. You're not going to keep him from scoring. I mean, that would be awesome if you do, if you're Tech. I don't anticipate that. But beyond a certain point, talent wins out. And it has already against Kansas this year. Jeff, let's hope that a bad run D doesn't tempt Morton into taking off too much. What do you mean by that? Taking off too much. Tell me about taking off too much. Help me out, Jeff, on that. Hope that bad run D doesn't tempt Morton into taking off too much. You mean run? I don't think it will. I think it'll be Williams and Dickey that'll be the ones running. Designed run plays. Steve, don't we need high scores versus opponents because of our strength of schedule? Hello, and yes, you do. And let's have our weekly discussion about style points and why they matter for Texas Tech. You need to cover. You need to hang up a number. You need to put points up. You need to win decisively. Last week, you needed to score 60. As Joe McGuire said on the postgame radio show, we should have scored 60 on these people. You should have. Yes, Texas Tech has to go hammer down. They don't let up. They got to pour it on. If they can run up the score, they have to run up the score. They must do that in the court of public opinion. 100%. Steve, you are correct. You can't worry about somebody's feelings. You can't worry about the other team. You got to hang a number. And whatever that number you can hang, you got to hang it. So it starts by covering. Texas Tech is one of like two teams this year, the only undefeated team, I think, that has covered every game. Chris says, pressure Daniels and he panics. Defensive line can contain. And that's the thing for me, X's and O's going in, is if you can keep doing what you've done through the first 5 games with the defensive front, which is moderately play with 0 stunts, a 4-man base rush, push up the middle, and contain and collapse on the outside. And you don't have to bring in an extra linebacker. You don't have to have that 5th man. You're playing with 13 people because that makes your secondary better. And also, it doesn't give you very much time to throw. And now your secondary doesn't have to cover as much, and everybody looks good. You don't have to sack him. Chris has got the key word right there, pressure. Uncomfortable. And I think if he does try to run, then that becomes problematic, not for Tech, for him, because Texas Tech has more than enough people to contain if he does get outside, that the linebackers they're not back there with him. You've got a second level that reestablishes the line of scrimmage, and that's why this team is so good at TFLs, by the way. This team is good at TFLs because your linebackers are a couple of yards closer than most linebackers are in college football because of the push and the contain that the defensive front gets. I keep saying, I'm going to say it over and over. The defensive front with the 4-man front pressure, base pressure, allows you to play with 13 players. It's really good if you can do it. All right, give us your score predictions tonight. Share this, invite people in. We're glad you're with us on a beautiful West Texas Friday night. If you're going out tonight, taking in a high school game, let us know where you're going. Or are we halfway through? Yeah, we're halfway through. All right. I like Texas Tech 45-20 on this thing. 20 points. You're going, oh, man, that sounds like a lot. Not really. That could be short field, turnover, sudden change, kick return that sets up a short field. That I think Daniels is a quality quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's good for 2 touchdowns. There's 14. Where do you get the other, 6? Couple of field goals. 45, again, it's how you get it. Are you leaving meat on the bone, or are these productive drives, driving down the field, chewing up clock, punching it in? Your 9, 10, 11 play drives that take up 4 or 5 minutes of clock time. Okay, yeah, I can deal with that. If you give me 45-20 right now, I think I like that. That's a score to the over of 59 points. I like this to the over tomorrow night. I just feel like this team, and particularly if the run game is working, again, that's going to eat up clock. That if you're not just having to blitzkrieg them downfield throwing the ball. So when we look at total points and everything like that, that if the run game is working, that does shorten maybe a possession for both teams. So that could be 2 to 3 points right there. I'm going to go 45-20. We're going to get into Cody Campbell versus everyone, the battle royale that is shaping up. A Sports Business Journal story this afternoon I find interesting. Jeff says, I have no doubt, none whatsoever, that if the college football powers think Cody is too far above his skis, they will definitely find a way to punish Texas Tech, especially if we are successful on the field. We'd asked that question earlier. What result do you want in the late game tomorrow? Utah win for Tech resume and give Arizona State a loss, or ASU? Looks like Sam Levitt, according to Dillingham, would be like, quote, a miracle if he plays. So I think what you're looking at is most likely Utah winning. In the grand scheme of things, it matters, it doesn't matter. Would you like Arizona State to be ranked when you play them? I guess. If Utah finally gets a home win, do we rejoice as a league that they finally broken through? I think where we are right now, it's a net neutral deal on either one. Utah will feed off the win, and you look good on that. Arizona, if they win, and particularly if they can do it without Levitt, that would be impressive. Arizona State, I should say. So I'm like, The wild card is the injury on Levitt. The Arizona State, they don't get a free pass, but then that does it discount the Utah win? And they say, well, you wouldn't have won with that. They're going to spin this nationally the way they want it to whatever hurts the Big 12 the most. That's what they're going to spend. So I'm not going to expend a lot of energy on that. In a perfect scenario, Arizona State goes there, barely wins in a great game, really well played game, and then you go beat the crap out of Arizona State. That's the scenario. All right? That if we have to look at it that way. Jumping on the United Supermarkets chat line, get your score predictions in. I've got it 45-20 Texas Tech. I think this Texas Tech defensive line will win first and second down, put them in a bad spot. They're not good third and long. Offense is the offense. The Arizona State, Kansas defense is not that good. They're just not. Jeff, Indiana loses to Oregon. Okay. Mizzou takes down Alabama. There's room for us to move up again with a big win. Yeah. Big win. You get the pieces falling into place. That's how you move up once you get into the top 10. People ahead of you lose, or you have to beat somebody ahead of you. Well, you don't have anybody to play that's ahead of you or any good the rest of the year. So the only way you move up is you win each week and somebody plinkos down. Bing, 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 boom. And you do that. Sports Business Journal today. Texas Tech Board of Regents Chair Cody Campbell, one of the most vocal and potentially powerful boosters in college sports, lashed out at conference commissioners for stymieing changes he thinks could save the rapidly changing industry. According to Eddie Pels of the Associated Press, commissioners barked back, with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey saying that the boosters' views, quote, reflect a fundamental misunderstanding of the realities of college athletics. Pels noted Campbell's argument yesterday was about how the proposed pooling of college TV rights, quote, could feed additional billions into school coffers, but that progress is being held back because the conferences are all represented by commissioners who are very, very self-interested. Campbell said that he, quote, supports elements of the recently introduced SAFE Act, a bill co-sponsored by Senator Maria Cantwell, Democrat out of Washington, that features a call for a rewrite of the 1960s law that would lift a restriction on college conferences from combining to sell their TV rights together. I'm going to stop right there. This is a really complicated and long litigated law, and it's been worked around from a broadcast standpoint and a conference standpoint for decades. It's a hell of a mess. And it's time that it got thrown out and rewritten, good, bad, or otherwise. Remember what I do and have done in the industry I've worked in. It's a mess. That if Cody Campbell, the great disruptor, the man who is now scaring everybody in college sports, from Brett Yormark to Greg Sankey, he's right on this. All right, so Campbell told attendees that the move could be worth $7 billion, adding that commissioners had said to him, quote, privately, that they know a modification of the law would generate more revenue, quote, but I don't want to give up control of my own media rights negotiations. Sankey said in response, out of the SEC, without Paul Feinbaum having to say it for him, I have never stated publicly or privately that pooling media rights would increase revenue, nor do I believe that it would. His misrepresentation of my position raises serious concerns about the accuracy of his other claims. Greg Sankey going after Texas Tech Board of Regents Chairman, former Red Raider football player, Cody Campbell. If you can't believe him here, you can't believe him here. We just can't trust this guy. We got to get rid of him. Meanwhile, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark seems to like Tech, seems to like Cody Campbell, seems to like Kirby Hocutt. He also said in response, I've never said pooling media rights will increase revenue. There are unintended consequences to amending the 1961 Sports Broadcasting Act that Cody and his team, let's stop right there. Cody and his team. Who's his team? Who's his team? his team, need to better understand, finishing the quote there for Yormark. Pell wrote Sankey and Yormark also pushed back on the idea that commissioners are out of touch with what's good for college sports. The SCORE Act, which is support from the NCAA and the Power Four conferences, proposes limited antitrust protection for the NCAA, mainly lawsuits involving eligibility issues. Good luck with that. And a prohibition on athletes becoming employees of their schools. Yeah, student athlete. Tell me more about your student athletes. How do I get some of these student athletes? Campbell portrayed the SCORE Act as too broad a giveaway to the NCAA and the conference commissioners he excoriated for wanting to run their own fiefdoms instead of looking out for the good of college sports in general. Associated Press yesterday. Meanwhile, Mike DeCourcy, Sporting News. I don't have time to talk about Mike DeCourcy and who I think he works for. That's whatever. He wrote, the threat Campbell poses to college athletics is using the platform provided by his wealth to pursue changes to college sports that demonstrate an obvious lack of understanding of how the system is operated and what the issues really are. In a September USA Today opinion piece, Campbell first calls for a new governing body for college sports to replace the NCAA, which we all agree, at least me, we need to have. DeCourcy wrote that he has to know the colleges and universities that belong to the NCAA are responsible for writing the rules he abhors, and they're the ones who insisted the organization enforce them. DeCourcy said the schools are the NCAA. To lessen NCAA-style influence on college sports, you'd pretty much have to take the college entirely out of it. No, you don't. It would cost, quote, untold millions in personnel and capital costs to establish an organization to supplant the NCAA, DeCourcy wrote. No, it wouldn't. DeCourcy, 7 October. Campbell's plan to replace the NCAA is not just irrational, it's irresponsible. Coda, FINA. He has them running scared. I love it. I don't agree with everything Cody Campbell proposes. We would differ on probably some subtleties and maybe some not so subtleties. But I agree 100%. The NCAA must go away for the top college football programs and basketball programs. And if they want to run smaller sports and take it down to a more collegial level, we can do that. But the fact that now you see them uniting against Campbell tells me he's dead right on what he's saying. And that includes Brett Yormark. That includes the Big 12. That if they're howling that way this week, he must be doing something right. We told you last week when the networks spiked the ads that Cody Campbell wanted to run. Well, why did they do that? Because the SEC and the Big Ten and the conferences told them to. That's why. So Cody Campbell's right. He is the great disruptor. He is goring the sacred ox right now. Doesn't mean I agree with everything he wants to do necessarily, or maybe I might. If we sat down, we would probably agree maybe on the end goal, not necessarily on how we get there, maybe, but I think we'd probably agree on the end goal. And for those who know me and have listened to me going back 25, 30, hell, almost 35 years ago, going back to the departure of Arkansas from the Southwest Conference, Notre Dame negotiating their own rights and creating their own network, and where this was all going to end up and how this was going to end up. I've been saying this. I'm like the guy, my friends are like, you're the guy who says the world's going to end today. And then one day you're right, but you're wrong until it does. Well, I think we're closer to ever than the world ending for the NCAA, and it's exactly what needs to happen. And if they're against it so much, that tells me, and it should tell you, that they're against Texas Tech. They're against Arizona State. They're against Vanderbilt. Which teams? Indiana. They don't want Indiana in there. The Big Ten doesn't want Indiana playing meaningful games and taking up airtime. that the harder they rail against Cody Campbell, the harder they're railing against Texas Tech. Keep that in mind. Glenn, David Bailey is the MVP. 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. So 3 sacks, 3 TFLs. He will be the National Defensive Lineman of the Week. Jan on the score prediction. We want your score predictions on the United Supermarket chat line. 45-17. I've got 45-20. I'll take 45-17, no problem. And if you got thoughts and comments before we get out of here on the Cody Campbell versus everybody story, fire away. Maybe you agree with Greg Sankey. I don't know. JC, the juxtaposition. I can't do that unless I stretch anymore. Here is laughable. Conservative schools and fan bases acting like crazy liberals because corporate media is their propagandist. A lot of big words in there, a lot of syllables. Might not have the emphasis on the right syllable, but I think I get what you're saying. Wendy, 45-28 Tech. Take makes me nervous. Maybe you meant Tech. What's making you nervous? Wendy, we have time. It's 7 o'clock. We would normally end right now, but I can't end worried that Wendy is nervous about something, and I'm not sure what she's nervous about. I would like to hear what Wendy's nervous about. Wendy, I'm listening. All right? I'm listening. It's just me and you here talking. What are you nervous about the game? What about this game is making you nervous? What have you seen out of Texas Tech or Kansas to make you nervous? Anything that would give you pause that I might be able to assuage your fears, because Texas Tech is going to own the line of scrimmage, that Kansas is deplorable on third down, 125th nationally, 31.3% conversion rate. They give up over 4.5 yards per rush. So Tech's going to own the rushing, which means they're going to probably own first down in this game. Our defensive ends over pursuing to the quarterback and allowing him to scramble like a crazy man. Okay, now that is a legitimately good comment. What I'm doing right here is I'm doing a clinic for other sports radio, sports talk hosts, sports media people, that when you give people a chance, they will be great. They will give you a great comment. And Wendy just gave us one. Okay. So what you're thinking is that if Romello Height and David Bailey come in too deep, that Daniels escapes underneath, leaks out outside. If you're playing the base defense, so let's say they neutralize the A gap, that Hunter's not getting up the A gap, you're not crushing it in, you're not having to peel out. By not having any more than 4 people on the defensive front, you have linebackers that are there to make the play. And that's why Ben Robert, that's why Jacob Rodriguez, that's why those John Curry at the star position, that's why they have a lot of tackles this year. Because the defensive line has done a lot about what you're talking about there that you're worried about, that they do flush a little bit and they get in there. That they don't have to be in coverage again, because you can go man quarter, whatever you want to do on the outside. This is a great comment, great concern. Daniels is not a great running quarterback. He's a good passing quarterback who can run. Devin Dampier is a better runner at Utah. He's a better running quarterback. I say that, and watch Daniels go for 156 and 3 touchdowns, whatever. He's going to put on the Avery Johnson show from 2 years ago or whenever it was. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm glad you expressed it that way, because, again, the base defense that Tech plays allows them to control the second level closer to the line of scrimmage, that if he does leak out, that you should have somebody there ready to make a play. And this Texas Tech team is the best tackling team I've seen in 25, 30 years, one-on-one tackling. All right? One-on-one tackling. He apparently butchers wood 51-13 Tech rolls, and the Thunder rolls. Speaking of neutralizing the A gap, I have an appointment next week with my proctologist. That's pretty much an ender right there, right? That's how we end the show on a Friday night. I've got it 45-20. I'm probably being a little conservative, maybe not. I like it going to the over. About a score to the over on this one. MVP. At the end of the night, the MVP. Jacoby Williams. We can go with Jacoby Williams. Another 100-yard rushing game, a couple of touchdowns, all right? We can go with him. I really think the offense is going to shine. I think the run game is going to shine. You're going to get some big play action passing pops off that. Koye and Terrence Carter Jr. I think will have a couple of really big plays off play action. And then the defense, we're just bored with them now, so we can't give them the MVP, right? We got to go with a running back. Wendy, good points. Much love. Have a great time at the game. Fans, and wish we could be there, but did get our season tickets to fans. Be loud on defense. Oh, you got your season tickets to some fans that are going. I got it. I understand. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see what the crowd is like out there at the bonfire tonight with Flatland Cavalry playing after they, blow up or torch or whatever they're going to do over there on the rec fields. That would have been really cool back in the year I was living at Coleman Hall, just to be able to walk over there and see all that. Cole Wisniewski, offense will be Carter. 45-20. Let's see how we do. Thanks again. I want the power of 5. Everybody who watches this live and tonight replay. And I know on a Friday night we're going to get a ton of replay people. And hopefully you guys will have some thoughts from me, maybe on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, about what we're talking about with Cody Campbell versus everybody. But yeah, the Reserve, a culinary tavern, great place for brunch this weekend. 103rd and Quaker, great Facebook page. Go check it out. Tell them thanks for supporting Raiderland. South Plains College, same thing. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. United Supermarkets, Market Street, they got a great Facebook page. You can tell them thanks. And our friends there with Corey Flanagan at Hat Creek Interiors at hatcreek.us. Check out their showroom in Lubbock if you're in this weekend. They ship anywhere. Great Western style furniture. Got a great Facebook page too. Please, all of y'all, drop them a line. Then let me know you did it. Hit me up there on Twitter and say, hey, man, we went over their webpage and we said thanks for being a part of Raiderland. None of this happens without our great sponsors. None of this happens in media, no matter whether you like my show or, Chris or Casey or, any of the radio shows or anything. None of this happens without great sponsors. So thank them. If you like media, you have more control than ever, not just buying the product, which I hope you do. That's really, the biggest goal. But to let the media, let the sponsors know we hear you, we appreciate it, we thank you. And if you can do that, that is massive. All right, tomorrow we'll have our Saturday column with no name. About midday, we will be back with you on the Live Life Well Raiderland Rewind show after the game, about 30 minutes after the game wraps up tomorrow night. So get your questions, comments, and everything ready to go on that. I don't have any idea what I do. It's frozen pizza night here at Raiderland World HQ, and laundry and frozen pizza. You guys have a great night. We're going to post this on the website, share it on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, YouTube channel, Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. 1,000 subscribers. That's all we ask for there on the YouTube channel by the end of the weekend. See you tomorrow.